Year left at Andover. I am so happy and grateful to be able to say that PA will now be dedicating an entire month of celebration called Phillips Academy Latinx Heritage Month to line up with the national celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month from September 15th to October 25th. 15.
Next on Live, Andover's newly established Latinx Heritage Month. This clip is from the last ASM last Friday, September 13th, the first one of the year. In past years, Andover has held a Latinx Arts Weekend, but this fall, Andover will have its first Latinx Heritage Month. Many events, both new and old, celebrating Latinx heritage are planned. Here's Live associate Lexie Mariano with the story.
Thank you. Alianza Latina is Andover's Affinity Club for students who identify as Latinx. However, Alianza is only in its second year of being an affinity club.
This year, Alianza will be in its second year of becoming an affinity space for the Latinx students on campus. Last year, we focused on building a supportive community for all Latinx students to feel safe, celebrated, and loved. This year, we will continue that work, and I invite every student who identifies as Latinx to come to Alianza meetings and become a part of our family.
I was part of the process of becoming Affinity, and there were a lot of people who were kind of against it just because they wouldn't come to our meetings. So holding the first open door meeting is super important to me, just to get the people who are my friends, a lot of them, who wanted to keep Alianza as a club so they can come to our meetings now, invite them in, especially for the last day of the month.
And we sort of wanted to start expanding in a way that would become all campus inclusive and also still honor our affinity values. So we figured having something like Latinx Heritage Month, which wasn't previously seen on this campus, would be great.
Since Alianza co-president Ashley Alvarez was a freshman, Andover has held Latinx Arts Weekend each year. Ashley says this was off-putting for her because she was very proud of her Latina heritage growing up. So she decided to reach out to others in the Andover community, including Linda Carter-Griffith, Assistant Head of School for Equity, Inclusion, and Wellness, and LaShawn Springer, Director of Community and Multicultural Development.
When I became co-president of Alianza Latina, it was kind of my dream to extend it from a weekend to a month, and it was hard at first, trying to convince myself mainly to have the courage to ask. But after I did talk to my other co-president and talking to my board and talking to my faculty advisors, it was really surprising how on board everyone was with the idea, and it wasn't just me who felt like we deserved the month.
There are many events planned for Latinx Heritage Month. The month of events will kick off with an open house for Viva, Andover's first Latinx dance group. Alvarez is also the co-head of Viva, which was just created this year. Salsa Night, a staple of the former Latinx weekend, will also be making a return. Alianza is also looking to host new events to be more inclusive of others, including reaching out to other schools.
Just focusing on definitely the community building, we still want to focus on that. We wanted to sort of have fun, but also educational and attractive events that would garner campus attention, and also stuff that was new. So for example, the regional, which will include local high schools, isn't really something that has been done before. We sort of tend to reach out for the same boarding schools, and we figured why not try schools like Lawrence High or Methuen High. So bringing those schools in will definitely be something that'll make Latinx Heritage Month stand out. We definitely want to make it something that where everyone feels completely safe. Bringing in an instructor, for example, will help everyone learn. It's not going to be something where if you can't dance, it's going to be embarrassing. The whole point is to instruct people how to dance, also just have a good time. So hopefully that should be universal.
Another open to the public event this month will be a sort of unorthodox panel with several keynote speakers. These speakers are all Latinx Andover alumni and will be coming in from places such as New York or local in Boston. This open to the public panel will take place on Friday, October 4th. Alvarez weighs in on the diversity of the panel, which she will be moderating.
They identify from different things. They identify as Mexican, Panamanian, all different types of ethnicities and cultures will be represented on the panel, and different professions. So our goal in having a panel that's so diverse, just professionally and culturally, is to kind of emphasize that Latinidad isn't just this one kind of stereotypical thing. It's so many cultures and so many countries and so many things that we do with our lives, and not just this idea that's perpetrated by the media of one thing that defines Latinidad.
Dominguez and Alvarez say the purpose of the events are to better represent Latinx students on campus and share their culture within the community.
For Latinx students on campus, we're 8% of the total student body. We're not very well represented, not really much talked about in ASMs. Obviously, race is a big topic that is discussed at the school, yet when we get to ethnicity, there's Latino and all that stuff concerning that identity, it gets a bit ambiguous. So definitely having something for Latinx students to look forward to and celebrate would be and is great.
Especially since this is the first month we really want it to be successful. It's first of all our first month at Andover, and also it's a chance to really kind of highlight Latinidad in the way that it hasn't on campus before. Everyone can enjoy the music or the food or the culture and just learn about it in a way that it doesn't feel like anyone's excluded.
Latinx Heritage Month will last from now until October 15th. Lexie Mariano reporting.